Okay, just a quick disclaimer. Pretty much everything I say in this video is based on my interpretations and opinions. Hey guys, it's Jasper here, and we're back with more Wings of Fire talk. Now I was really excited to make this because a lot of people from the last video actually enjoyed the talk. Like I genuinely did not expect y'all to pour in so fast. Like one morning I woke up and went to check on the video, right? And I couldn't believe it. Sheesh! 1K already? Damn! And it ain't stopping yet. In fact, it was reaching for the stars. I can't thank you guys enough for the welcoming. This really made my day. Like, really, really. Really, 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 really. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started with today's Wings of Fire talk, where I share my thoughts about Book 2, The Lost Heir. Right, okay. So this time I kinda know where I should start. The first thing I want to say about this book is that reading it feels like wandering into a very, very dense fog, you know? I gotta say, there were countless of times where I found myself getting lost in the plot. Like, it's very thick. There was a lot to take in. The book has plenty of mystery and treacherous investigation. It feels like an Among Us game. You know, there is something I learned about reading this book, actually. With plenty of mystery comes plenty of twists. And a lot of the twists genuinely caught me off guard. We'll get into that later, though. One of the parts that really got me in the feels is the part when Tsunami met Riptide for the first time. And it's mostly because of the whale that Riptide bumped into when he was being chased. And I love whales, like, deeply, and sentimentally. They're such majestic creatures, they're huge. Well, that's not exactly why I like it, but like, you know, you get the point, right? Whales, they're big, they're beautiful, they're majestic. I can't find the words like right now. But anyway, whenever I see one, I almost always become emotional. I imagine a somewhat alternate version of how this part goes. So Tsunami saw Riptide for the very first time. She peered through a hole in the coral, stalking him, blah blah blah, all the same, until Riptide bumped into the whale. The whale gracefully circled him a few times in curiosity. Tsunami watched as if it was doing a slow waltz around Riptide. Then it swam away, waving its tail like a hamrock. This version in my mind nearly kept me awake the night after I started reading the book. It's just so touching, you know? And I could easily imagine this with the Innocent Warrior soundtrack from Moana playing in the background. That soundtrack is freaking. It's phenomenal. Like, outstandingly phenomenal. I freaking love it. Sentimentally. Yes, sentimentally. I'm a very sentimental person. That's who I am, I guess. Yeah, that's who I am. There's no I guess in that. It's no doubt I'm a very sentimental person. I'm a crybaby and whatever. And I'm proud to be I'm proud to be like that. Like, I got feelings. I don't know. I don't know what I say anymore. Someday I would like to animate this part because I figure that describing it in words isn't enough to fully express my feelings. And you know, something that makes me even more emotional is knowing how we humans treat these animals, you know. So let me just pass you some shocking statistics. Before commercial whaling began in the 1900s, 300,000 blue whales dominated the sea by being the largest animals on the planet. Decades after commercial whaling began, the lowest estimate for the blue whale population was 650, and the highest was 2,000. Can you believe it? There were only 650 blue whales left in the world. Good news is, however, most countries have already banned commercial whaling. Now we have over 10,000 blue whales in the world. Still though, the damage we caused to their population was despicable. It was outrageous. Like, come on. 300,000 to 650? That's outrageous. Like, really. Now the first twist. Yes, the first twist I want to talk about. So you know how Tsunami killed that mentally mad Sea Wing named Gil when she was back at the Skywing Arena? Yeah, let me just read out the lines of this twist. Darkness seemed to be rushing into Tsunami's vision, sucking away all her breath. She knew what Queen Coral was going to say next. and she would have fled back to the mountains to avoid hearing it if she could. Tsunami, Gil was your father. Absolutely dumbfounded. The second after I read that line, my eyes popped out, I threw my book down, I held my arms up, and pressed my hands against the back of my head like I was about to do a sit up or something. I shook my head in disbelief. I was like, yo, nah, bro. That's messed up. Man, I thought Kestrel getting murdered was bad. But then there's this. Remember I said that reading this book feels like an Among Us game? Yeah, this part of the story that I'm gonna be talking about next really explains that. So as you know, Tsunami was assaulted by an unknown dragon in the entrance tunnel, under the Summer Palace. Throughout the chapters before the culprit was revealed, I sussed a lot of characters. I was like, ooh, Moray is sus. Oh wait, never mind. Shark is sus. Or maybe it could be Queen Coral herself. It was until in chapters 26, I finally got an answer. Anemone, being an animus dragon, decided to track down the culprit using a spear. When the culprit was being prodded into view, I was like, ooh, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Or my guess is correct? Eh? What? It's Whirlpool? Absolutely dumbfounded. Again. Like, genuinely, I did not expect him to be the assassin. Like, I thought he was one of those greasy characters that were only made to annoy the reader, you know? Oh yeah, boy was I wrong. It gets to show really how incredibly powerful books really are. It brings you genuine emotions. It makes you feel. It makes you feel what the character is feeling. It plays with your mind. It hypnotizes you to focus on innocent characters. And books generally take longer to finish than, say, watching a Netflix adaptation, for example. And with enough time, it wouldn't feel as simple as watching movies or television shows. You won't just read what the characters were thinking. You will experience it, you know. Then all of a sudden, blam! Plot twist. And then you're left with the most bewildered look on your face. You know, there is something I want to point out in the last chapter. For all this time, I always thought that Tsunami hated Starflight. Actually, no. Hated is not the right word. She mildly dislikes Starflight. Yeah, that's better. But in this chapter, she realized how much she needed Starflight and how important he was to the DoD gang. The gang needed someone nerdy and knowledgeable. They needed someone. They need like a talking bookshelf, a walking bookshelf, as some might call it. And they got Starflight to cover that. The gang needed someone brave and protective, and they got Tsunami to cover that. With all 5 dragonets from different tribes having different values and virtues and qualities, they make up a perfect team. It tells us that if we're all the same, nothing will be accomplished. The world will be a true anarchy. One verse from the Bible say, God has given each of you a gift from his great variety of spiritual gifts. Use them well to serve one another. So there is a reason why we're all built differently. We're like individual puzzle pieces. We are built to complete one another and form a beautiful spectacle. You know what I'm saying? Rainbows are made up of different colors. Without variety, it will turn ugly. Society is made up of different people. Without distinction, there will be extinction. So with that being said, the message is, you gotta be grateful for who you are. Because you're not 1 in 1,000. Not in a million. Not even in a billion. You're more than that. You are you. You serve a purpose, even when you don't realize it yet. You have things that others don't. Things that others wish they have. Believe me, every now and then I too struggle with being myself. But then I would always hear a few of my friends say that I am lucky. Now it's okay to get lost and cry out waterfalls because that's really the natural stage of understanding who you really are. Right. That's pretty much all I want to say about Book 2, The Lost Heir. You know, when I was looking at the DoD drawing from my last video, I was like, wait, Tsunami's colors are looking they're kinda off. Like, they look weird. Like, I've seen plenty of Tsunami art, and their palettes are way more different than mine. Then when I was looking up the reference for today's drawing, and then I found the actual reference for her, and I was like, oh my. I I literally pulled my face down, bro. I pulled my entire face down. So yeah, anyway, that concludes the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I wish you all a good day. Peace.